Chris Pratt.
Even though Chris Pratt and Anna Faris were a beloved couple, this wasn't enough to keep Chris from letting his eyes wander elsewhere. It's actually possible that he threw everything in his first marriage away in order to get with Katherine Schwarzenegger, just so that he could take the easy way out. And it seems like Katherine might have played a pretty big role in that, since she too seemed to be pinning after him while he was still married. This old clip of Katherine sitting down for an interview shows just how interested in Chris she really was in the beginning. While sitting down with Access Hollywood, Katherine was asked who she would rather be with.
Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, or Chris Evans?
And at first, she answered with Chris Evans. But not even a second later, it seemed as though she completely changed her mind when she started to really think about Chris Pratt. And you can tell from her face that she might have already been thinking about that for a while.
Actually, Chris Pratt.
And then, as if things couldn't get any worse, she started to smile pretty big while talking about just how good Chris was looking to her at the time. Then, she even ended the whole thing by basically saying, "You never know what could happen," which pretty much spells it all out.
I'm looking good lately, so you never know.
The whole thing was just pretty weird, especially when you consider the fact that Chris was still very much with his first wife, Anna, at the time. But according to the official timeline of their relationship, Chris and Katherine remained firm on the stance that they didn't start dating until 2018, which would have been 1 year after Chris and Anna confirmed that they would be divorcing after 8 years of marriage. But by January 2019, Chris and Katherine were already engaged, which was just so fast, especially since Chris had just gotten out of such a long relationship and still had to worry about how to co-parent his 6-year-old son. The timeline just don't seem to add up, and it's possible that Katherine might have been trying to get with him before his ultimate separation from Anna. Chris and Anna always seemed to have an incredibly strong relationship, and in 2015, he even told Parade magazine that their relationship made him believe in divine intervention. Just 1 year later, Chris made a statement that he would be taking 6 months off for family time after being involved in a series of extremely popular movies. But during that break, Chris was hit with some pretty serious cheating rumors that made waves in the headlines. At the time, it was believed that he had possibly cheated on Anna with his co-star from the movie Passengers, Jennifer Lawrence. But at that point, Anna had already been suspicious of him for years. She just hadn't said anything about it. After announcing their separation in 2017, Anna sat down on her own podcast to talk about how she felt toward the end of their relationship. And she said that she kept her suspicions hidden because she was afraid of looking crazy for doubting her partner. She said that she would often be pretty oblivious in their relationship, but that there was an overwhelming gut feeling that just wouldn't go away. Unfortunately, her suspicions about his cheating were ultimately confirmed when several of her friends admitted that they knew about it the whole time. It was clear that their relationship had been going through a pretty rough patch for some time, and Chris felt justified enough to cheat on her while he was gone for long periods of time for work. Not only that, but in order to look good for those movies, Chris also ended up losing weight and getting incredibly ripped. And it just seemed like he would rather have the new woman in his life that would feed into his ego and give him the attention that he wanted. At that point, it's possible that Chris felt that the marriage just couldn't be saved, which was most likely not just based on his own actions of cheating, but also on how he was just no longer emotionally invested in his relationship with Anna. While talks of his budding romance with Katherine didn't start until June 2018, the truth is that at the time, his divorce still hadn't been finalized. In fact, he actually dated Katherine for 4 months before his divorce from Anna was actually official, which made a lot of people wonder just how much overlap there really was. He was already cheating on Anna and seemingly had been for years, and he started his relationship with Katherine not too long after. Maybe Chris just felt like he already had a new woman, and he couldn't do wrong in her eyes the way he did with Anna. So he just chose to go down the easy route of finding a new woman instead of trying to actually make it work with Anna. Whatever the case may be, Chris and Katherine ended up getting married in January 2019 after supposedly dating for about 6 months. And that's a shockingly fast relationship when you really break things down. Earlier in April of this year, Chris even went on the Drew Barrymore show to talk about how he first met Katherine. He said that he actually met her at church and that she was giving him googly eyes from across the pews. So it sounds like she already had the hots for him, even though his divorce wasn't even finalized. And when you factor in the Access Hollywood clip where she says, "You never know what could happen," the whole thing seems clear as day. Although we may never know if she was secretly involved with Chris while he was still married, you can't deny that their relationship happened weirdly fast. And it's clear that although she might not have been the sole cause of the end of Chris's first marriage, she certainly wasn't upset about his divorce either. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? You think that Katherine was trying to get with Chris while he was still with his ex-wife Anna? Do you believe their relationship timeline? And what do you think about how quick the whole thing was? Let me know in the comments below.